I'm Dawn Crouch, and this is Paige Landrino, who's helping me today. She's a dancer, danced with ABT, and we're going to talk about balance, posture, and body alignment. Now, these are the 3 keys of ballet. And they're not just the 3 keys of ballet. These are the 3 keys that ballet can fortify and strengthen and help you with everything you do. Any sport activity, any activity like walking, and like living your normal life. So it's really important to understand what I mean when I say these terms. Let's talk about balance first. And what? Are they all interrelated? Yes, they are. If one is out of whack, they'll all be out of whack. So you do have to think about this. You have to think about this pretty much all the time in your ballet class. And you should think about it in your regular activities during the day. Let's talk about just straight balance. Paige, would you go to just parallel? Now, when you are on balance, I'm going to back up a little bit so you can see Paige's feet. You have to have your weight over the ball of your foot. Right there, over the ball of your foot, and not in your heel. Show us off balance. Now, it's easy to see off balance, but you'd be surprised how many people walk totally off balance. So keep it right over the ball of your foot. When you're dancing, let's go to first position and just do a tendu to the front. Devant, yes. And there's our tendu. Now show me slightly off balance. Do you see how it sits back? And when you sit back, your posture is affected too, because you know what hangs out, okay? Press down on that hip and have your weight right over the ball of your foot. Now, where do I see somebody really poorly balanced? And I'm going to say arabesque. That is where I see it a lot of times. Or when you do a tendu to a derriere, or you start anything, a rond de jambe to the back, you really can see when someone's off balance. Do a tendu derriere, please. Thank you. Okay, you have to keep that weight right over the ball of your foot again, right over the ball of your foot, okay? And not sit back in your heel. Can you show us an arabesque, just with your, okay, right there over the ball of your foot. And you see that Paige's hip is over her heel. Now lean back, show me right, or show me an arabesque, a piqué to an arabesque where somebody's off balance. Yeah, and you see this, it kind of looks like, you know, like you're asking for help or something. So you want to keep that weight right over the ball of your foot. And that goes along very well with posture, because if your posture is correct, then it's going to be much easier to maintain your balance, okay? If your stomach's hanging out, or your bottom's hanging out, or your shoulders are slumped, why don't you stand just parallel and show me some poor posture. Yeah, that's the classic poor posture, okay? And so you have to think of these core muscles. You have to think that you're pressing down through the floor and up through the top of your head, like really stretching to be as tall as you possibly can. In other words, if I was going to draw a straight line here, it would go through Paige's ear, her shoulder, her hip, and her heel. And so the posture and the balance are really super important, and they're very interconnected. The last thing is body alignment, and that is often not really understood by most people. Your shoulders and your hips remain forward. Think of the headlights of a car. If you're driving down the road at night and you have one headlight that's askew and showing up into the trees and one that's going down and showing in the ditch, it's not helping you very much. Not helping you very much at all. So your shoulders and your hips have to maintain that forward. In other words, they're in the direction that you're going, okay? So Paige, could you please show us a first arabesque, well I guess it'll be a second arabesque like this, where your shoulders are even, the hips are even. And I'm going to walk over here so that you can see. It goes straight to the tips of your toes. Yes. Okay, thank you. Can you show us a picture of like poor body alignment? And you see this where the hip is lifted. And that usually comes, thank you, I don't mean to have you suspended there. That usually, what that does is somebody wants to get their leg really high. So they just do this arabesque, and the arabesque kind of looks like they got splatted on the back of a car, okay? And you have to think, you have to kind of back up and think, how should I do this? I should pull back on the supporting shoulder. Show me the arabesque one more time, a correct one. Yes, you pull back on this supporting shoulder. The supporting shoulder is the leg you're standing on, okay? And you think shoulders and hips must be facing in the direction you're going. Thank you, Ms. Page. And you really have to think of all these things together. When you do the tendu straight forward, your hips don't go with you. When you do it to the side, you don't lean. It's very important. Posture, balance, and body alignment are the three keys that ballet really, really helps you develop, and you develop the strength, you develop the flexibility to do this correctly, and it does show in everything else you do. Thank you.